Hi, Andy XL back with another NFXL podcast and continuing my look at all 32 NFL teams in state of the franchise addresses. And this one is regarding the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals are a team that perennially get touted as a threat to all, but then fall short. And they did so again in 2025. And what is worse, they seem to do so in the same way year after year. So, they over rely on Joe Burrow and then don't protect him well enough to keep him healthy, and they continue to neglect the need to defend. So, will they finally sort these issues out in order to be legitimate challengers next season? They do have, and I'm just making sure this is correct, 53 million in cap space according to overthecap.com to work with. So, they've got some room there. There, so there is room to make free agent moves if they need to. Excuse my croaky throat. Quick drink. There is no doubt that Joe Burrow is one of the premier passing quarterbacks in the league. Get a full season from him, and he will pass for 4,500 yards plus and 35 touchdowns. That is what his stats tell us from his previous seasons. But he missed 7 games in 2023 and 9 last season, either side of a full season in 2024. So the message is clear. Keep him healthy and you have a chance of making the postseason. Fail to do so and you will fall short again. But his backups are free agents this off-season, so it may well be the Bengals add a veteran backup as insurance against another Burrow injury. That would seem like a good idea given the issues of the past. At running back, the Bengals' run offense ranked a lowly 26th last season. This is another issue as their inability to run a balanced offense makes them too one-dimensional, even though that is a very good dimension with Burrow in place. Croaky throat again. Chase Brown had a fine season with 1,456 scrimmage yards and 11 touchdowns. Samaji Perine provided some support with 469 yards and 3 scores. But just 1,400 of those yards and 9 touchdowns came on the ground, and neither are what you refer as a big back. So adding that type would allow the Bengals to offer a more rounded and powerful run game that opposing teams would have to make greater efforts to defend against, and possibly open up the passing game for them. At wide receiver, even with Burrow missing half the season, the Bengals still had the fourth-ranked pass offense. That's no surprise when you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins at the disposal of whoever is at quarterback. Those two combined for over half of the receiving yards and touchdowns the Bengals recorded last season, and with both of those two locked up for years to come, and Andre Yoshivas offering another option, the Bengals really do not need to prioritise augmenting the wide receiver position this off-season. At tight end, the Bengals got 763 yards and 7 touchdowns from the trio of Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant, and Tanner Hudson last season. Fant is a low-cost free agent. They need to make a decision on bringing back or not. But even if they decide not to bring him back, tight end doesn't really seem to be a position of urgent need for them. On the offensive line, Burrow got sacked 17 times in the 8 games he played last season, and whilst his own fragility may be part of the reason for his missing time, the O-line has to protect him better given his injury history. The interior of that O-line was pretty good though. Right tackle Amarius Mims was okay, but left tackle Orlando Brown struggled at times and seems a shadow of the player he was in Baltimore and KC. He was culpable for 9 of the 36 sacks the Bengals allowed last season, and given his salary, the Bengals are not getting value for money from him right now. Dalton Risner and Lucas Patrick need to be re-signed, but I actually think the Bengals will stick with this O-line for 2026 and hope for a better season from Mims and Brown at the tackle positions, although they could well have another tackle as Brown has just 1 year left on his current deal. At defensive tackle, the Bengals ranked 26th against the run last season, but did get some pass rush from the interior of their O-line with TJ Slayton and BJ Hill combining for 7 sacks. But neither was good against the run, so adding a run stuffer here would be a good addition for the Bengals. On the edge, with Trey Hendrickson now a free agent and seemingly want to play elsewhere, and Joseph Adai also hitting free agency, this is an area that needs attention this off-season. Last year's first-round draft pick played just 8 games in his rookie season, recording just 1 sack. So the Bengals need much more from him in 2026. So let's just check who I'm referring to there in the I've not. I should have written his name down, shouldn't I? And then I wouldn't have to look it up, and I'd remember. But there you go. We all make mistakes. Bear with me while I get to the Joseph. Sorry, Shamar Turner is a Shamar Stewart. Sorry, is who I'm thinking of. Um, yeah, just my screen's in a mess now. Right, gonna right pick a list, but there you go. That's why I'm an amateur. Right, yeah, Shamar Stewart. They didn't get much from him last season, so the Bengals need Miles Murphy with 5.5 sacks. Is really the only rusher off the edge of note they have signed up for next season. So if Hendrickson and or Adai leave, they will need to find replacements who can replace the 20 sacks you lose if they leave. Inside linebacker, Demetrius Knight and Barrett Carter are two young inside linebackers that had reasonable seasons in 2025. Along with Oren Burks, they are all signed up for 2026, so this may not be a priority area for the Bengals, but adding a quality veteran to captain the Bengals defense could work well for them, having said that. At safety, the Bengals did not get great results from Jordan Battle and Geno Stone in 2025. Stone's now a free agent. Given the Bengals' struggles in pass defense, an addition or two at safety could well help them improve in an area they need to. At cornerback, losing Cam Taylor-Britt mid-season was a blow to a young Bengals group at quarterback, but Dax Hill and DJ Turner played well, and I do not think the Bengals' pass defense woes can be hung on them. It was the lack of pass rush and safety play that hurt them more, and with potential improvement to come from this young group, they may not need to do anything else than re-sign Taylor-Britt here. If they do not, then they'll need to replace him. Special teams, Evan McPherson and Ryan Rakow in place for 2026. No, there's really no urgent need on special teams in terms of the kickers for the Bengals. So, in summary, on the face of it, no major personnel needs apart from an edge and safety for the Bengals to address this off-season. But first and foremost, getting a full season from Joe Burrow will be critical to the Bengals' hopes for sure. Putting some sort of safety net in the form of a reliable veteran backup would be a very good idea. There is a need for some significant tinkering, though. A defensive leader at inside linebacker, a big, powerful running back, a run stuffer at defensive tackle, and an offensive tackle would help them improve in areas they badly need to be better than they were last season. Re-sign a couple of O-linemen and do the same with cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt, or replace him, and the Bengals will have had a very good off-season and have plenty of reason to head into the 2026 season with renewed hopes. There's 8 or 9 things on their to-do list, and at least 6 of them need to be done for them to be post-contenders next season, even though the AFC North may be a division in flux with coaching changes and other changes going on there. So that's how I see the Bengals heading into this off-season. Let's see how they come out of it. Right, that will be the 10th one done. So the next one up are the Miami Dolphins, and then the Dallas Cowboys. Then we'll have the Atlanta Falcons and Baltimore Ravens. So look forward for all of those coming up shortly. Okie doke, take care for now, and I'll see you soon.